We don't know what it was doing there. It was just a one-off specimen that's been found. Thought they'd found a dinosaur, just because there was these big bones that were petrified.
That's an historian in Australia, and that one-off, big-boned creature he's talking about is believed to be one of these things. A diprotodon. Yes, say it with me, a diprotodon. The remains of this particular thing were found about a decade ago by a rancher in the Australian outback who was out searching for crocodiles. Perhaps because he was seeking a quality meal like in the story we told you about the other day here on your News Refresh. Please subscribe. And in the course of that crocky search, something that makes one go crikey turned up. The only known diprotodon fossil ever to be found in Australia's Northern Territory.
So, as well as being the most northerly diprotodon found in Australia, it is one of the oldest ones.
We collected a series of sediment samples from beneath the fossil, from at the same level as the fossil and then above the fossil. And using OSL dating, optically stimulated luminescence dating, we were able to say when that sediment was last exposed to daylight.
That's an expert in geochronology, the scientific field that determines the age of rocks and fossils, who's with the University of Adelaide and has been working to figure out exactly how old our friend here is. She's been named Shirley, by the way, and as we all know, it's rude to ask a woman her age. So this team just spent a year trying to determine an accurate date of her remains by, according to Australian News, measuring the age of thousands of individual sand grains around the fossils. And the world's slowest hourglass ultimately revealed what they believe to be her age. She's somewhere between 112,000 and 123,000 years old. But who's counting?
We were interested in its age because it's very far north for a diprotodon discovery.
That's a paleontologist studying Shirley's fossil, and yeah, you keep hearing the word diprotodon, but what the hell is a diprotodon? It kind of sounds like one of those open source Twitter knockoffs, but diprotodons are actually believed to be the largest marsupials to ever have roamed Australia.
It was about the size of a white rhinoceros, but without the horns. So it was large, 4-footed, slow-moving, and it was a plant eater.
It's believed the diprotodon's closest cousin is the modern-day wombat, which this National Geographic website for children reminds us is a pouched marsupial, itself a cousin to the fair koala, both of which are native to Australia. The Australian Museum says diprotodons went extinct at least 25,000 years ago, and since they've been gone so long, we're only now left with fossil records and royalty-free mock-ups like these ones we got from DeviantArt and Wikimedia Commons.
That dating has allowed us to now start looking into what was happening in northern Australia in regard to diprotodons.
Knowing her age means scientists can now better study Shirley's fossilized remains. And our paleontologist here is currently and painstakingly preparing her skeleton for exhibition at a museum.
We are now using handheld tools to carefully clean off all the adherent clay and rock that is sticking to the skeleton, so to make it nice and clean and ready for display.
It's probably going to take at least a year before Shirley can actually be shown off anywhere. But for a creature believed to be well more than 100,000 years old, and who they dated by measuring 1,000 grains of sand, yeah, I think we can all exude a little bit of patience here. In the meantime, here's another drawing.